Start.
And
Well,
where's our Board of Investment people?
Well, Natarikon is here, so
oh, that's a Kun Ke, that beautiful lady from BOI, okay?
Yeah.
Kun Ke.
okay, so let's start our meeting today. Dear participants and distinguished guests, today we're conducting conference Investment Cooperation of Russia and Thailand in agri-food sector. My name is Konstantin Tarasov. I will be the moderator of our conference today. First of all, I will switch off the microphones of all participants and will turn them on in turn of the speakers. So this will really help us to follow the courtesy rules and also will help us enjoy the conference and will save the speakers from interjection. In case we have time at the end of our conference, we will have a short Q&A session, so we will be able to ask our speakers questions. I understand that there might be many questions, so I would suggest you all to send us your questions on the email. Later, we will send them all to the speakers so they can provide their answers. The email address is rtbc.office@mail.ru. I would like to give first floor for opening remark to Mr. Marchenko, the chairman of Russian Thai Business Council. Mr. Valery, can you please wait a second? I will switch off all the sound of all other participants and then switch your microphone on. So, yep. Can you switch on the microphone, please?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, my dear colleagues, distinguished guests, I'm very happy to see you this morning. And first of all, I would like to thank the Thailand Board of Investment for initiative to conduct our today's conference. And of course, to thank the Ministry of Economic Development of Russia for their invaluable support. Last week, we organized and conducted Russian-Thai Business Forum, and we had many speakers. Of course, it's very hard to, and I would say almost impossible to give a chance to deliver a speech to every person or representative of each industry where we see possibilities to develop our cooperation. And during the forum, we shortly mentioned that in our opinion, agri-food sector has a very great potential. And today, that's why we decided to devote a separate event to cooperation in agri-food sector. During that forum, the AgriWorld company has presented a project of online platform to trade directly between even small-sized companies from Thailand and Russia in agro-food items. And such platform provides direct access to trade system of biggest chains of supermarkets in Russia. For this affair, we would like to get the support from Thai-Russian Trade Chamber to get several at least interested traders to try it out first before we can find the certain weak points and make it fully developed to spread it throughout the country. During these days, we are also seeing a great develop of all project of CP Group in Russia here. We are also aware of the steps of that has been taken by Thai Union to set up a production of preserved tuna here at Moscow region. We know about the growing interest of Thai fish and seafood processing manufacturers in different projects in Russian Far East region. These all are the projects of the big players from Thailand. At the same time, Russian exporters are keen to export big volumes of grain and different types of cereals and frozen fish and seafood. All big investing projects born through the trading first. That's why we are here. We have to make each our effort to establish very good trading connections between our trading companies and to get the best opportunities, if possible, in the nearest future to open Thai market for our Russian exporters. I wish all participants of our conference today to find an answers for their questions, and let's do the great business today and further on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barchenko. I believe that our conference today will be very meaningful. Today we have significant speakers that, from my point of view, can give all participants a great overview on the possibilities of cooperation in agri-food sector. I would like to give the next floor to the person who, in my humble opinion, is the best choice to tell about current agri-food industry situation in Thailand, and who also knows the demands of Russian business community, Dr. Sambat Tiratrakunchai, President of Thai Russian Chamber of Commerce. Dr. Sambat, can you please switch on your microphone?
Okay. Good morning, Russia, and good afternoon, Thailand. Mr. Valery Barchenko, Mr. Tarasov, Mr. Oleg, and distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. Although I am with CP, but I am not in the direct business. So actually I know just the background of my company. We are a very big company, and we have certain people working on the certain business unit. I just tell you the broad perspective of Thailand agro and food industry today. But perhaps not much on CP, okay? This is the perspective on Thailand. So next slide, please.
Yes.
The IMF forecast of the world GDP of this year will be minus 4.9, and only China. It is the only country that the forecast said that it will be plus 1.0% growth of GDP. Russia minus 6.6, Thailand minus 7.7. But strikingly, you look at France, Italy, and Spain. They are in a very red zone, more than minus 12%, as well as UK and the Europe area. Japan is not so bad, it's minus 5.8. But ladies and gentlemen, I really doubt it on the 2021 forecast. It's very positive. The world with the 5.4% growth, especially Thailand next year, the GDP forecast for 2021 is 5% growth. I myself really doubt it. If we look at this on the positive effect, then it's all right. But in reality, I'm not sure whether this is going to be true, because we are going down deep at the moment with the COVID-19 effect, and it probably will take a while to come back like this. So that's why I put a number of question marks on this 2021 forecast. Next, please. Next slide, please.
Yes, I'm trying. Pardon? Yeah.
Okay. Thailand is ranked 11 in the world's top 20 food export countries in 1990. So it means that Thailand doing well on the food export. And for Russia, I think you export wheat as #1 in the world in terms of food grain. Next, please. The agriculture and agro industry consider 17.4% of the total Thailand's GDP. And For the forecast of 2020, the whole area is minus 0.6%, which is very good though, because we are expecting almost every industry would be hurt by the COVID-19, but only minus 0.6. I think that's a very good thing for Thailand. However, rice, rubber, cassava, sugar, they are all in a minus, especially for the rubber, minus 14%. Not very good for Thailand at all at this point. Next slide, please. I don't know whether you know that Thailand export a lot of chicken, mostly to Japan and to EU. We produce about almost 3 million tons of chicken for the year 2020, and we export 1 million as a forecast for 2020, or consider 34%. We export fresh chicken and also cooked chicken. For cooked chicken, Thailand is #1 in the world of exporting cooked chicken. But fresh, #1 should be USA and Brazil, #2, okay? But for cooked chicken, Thailand is #1. With our fine manufacturing plants, food processing plants, we can do a fine cut, very, very nice cut and feel very nice, low cost of labor. That's why we can export a lot of cooked chicken to Japan, where they require very nicely cut, and we are capable of doing those. Next, please. For eggs, not a lot for Thailand to export, but we consume 2.4% more of this year, and because of the COVID, people stock up a lot of eggs at home. It's a quite low price protein source and easy to cook, and if you keep it in the refrigerator, the whole package can go for 1 to 2 months. That's why we have a 2.4% increase of this year forecast for consumption of egg. Next slide, please. For pork, we don't export a lot of pork because we are in the zone of foot and mouth disease, and therefore we are prohibited to export to Europe. But we do export live pig to Vietnam a lot this year due to the African swine fever that kind of is a pandemic in this area from China to almost every country around us except Thailand. We are the only country that has no ASF or African swine fever. And we do very well with 10% increase of export. And we're still exporting live pig to Vietnam a great deal at the moment. So we are doing very well in pork. And the reason I'm talking about chicken, pig, and eggs, because this is our key business for CPF, where I belong. And I don't know much in other areas. Next slide, please. I use this Nike logo as the forecast for when the business is gonna come back. You know, the year 2018 was very good year, and 2019 not very good, dropping down from 2018. However, we are now into the third quarter of 2020, and I think this is the deepest or the lowest quarter in this year. And we are looking forward for the quarter 4 for everything to pick up after we don't have any emergency decree starting in the 1st of September. I think the country will be open, and then we probably have tourists coming in, like Mr. Barchenko said in October. Probably we will start our tourism again. And it will move up very slow to 2021 and still very slow to 2022. And then by that time in 2022, we will come back to the 2019 level. Why? Why is slow? Next slide. Number one is strong Thai baht. At the end of 2019, it was 29.97 baht per dollar. I believe that your ruble is around 71 ruble per dollar at the moment. We in June of this year, which is the last month, the baht was at 30.87 per US dollars. It's still very strong. For those who do the export, they would love to have the Thai baht weaken to 32 baht. And for each baht of weakening, we will gain 5% more profit every baht. So it would be the best if the Thai baht weak to 34 baht per US dollars. But this is the whole reason that we slow us down quite a bit about the exporting from Thailand. Next, please. Number two, after the emergency decree was announced on March 26, 2020, the number of foreign tourists was completely 0%, straight all the way until today. Okay, next slide. What does it mean? It means that this year we will have number of tourists down from 40 million foreign tourists in the year 2019 down to only 8 million foreign tourists this year. And the income of 100 billion US dollars will be down to 20 billion only. So it means that 80% less income. And the area that mostly affected is the hotel, which has a share of the tourism about 26%, and also shopping 21.2%, restaurant 21.2%. When we talk about restaurant, then it relates to food and the food consumption in the tourism, which is the main income to Thailand. The number one tourism industry in Thailand, bringing the highest income of 100 billion US dollars. The GDP of Thailand is 554 billion US dollar at the moment, and the tourism of last year account for about 20% of the total GDP of Thailand. So sadly, we are now in the deepest spot at the moment. We were lucky for the first few months in the January, February, and March. We still have some tourism, tourists left in Thailand at that time. After that, it's zero. Okay, and we hope that in the Q4 we will have some of them coming back to Thailand. Next, please. Talking about the mega project in Thailand, because of the COVID, because of the work from home, and also layoff, many companies kind of slow down the business, and the mega project for this year will be minus 30% of what is supposed to be spent in Thailand. But next year it will be better at minus 13%. We have to wait 2 more years before it will go back to a positive 5% level, or perhaps equivalent to the year 2019. Okay, this is a very straightforward forecast, not biased anything, and that's why I said that the IMF prediction number, forecast number, is in the positive, very high positive area, not quite accurate to me. And we still have to be careful to run our business. Next, please. We produce about 2 million cars per year, and we have been called the Detroit of the Asia. And this year, it can be expected that maybe around 50% of car production will be reduced. So we probably can produce only 1 million cars this year. And of course, with 850,000 workers, you know, they're going to be in trouble. Many of them got laid off. And with this situation slowly picking up, I really wonder if any company will hire the worker back at this point until the end of this year. Next year, maybe. The middle of next year is better, as we may have some vaccine come out. Oh, by the way, I watched the news today. They said that the Russian is coming out with the first dose of vaccine, perhaps we'll try on August 10. I don't know whether it's true or not, but very excited to hear that. And I think to bring the economic back to where we were, I think we need a vaccine to be ready for everyone in the world. Next, please. And another reason is the unemployment. That this is the forecast number for this year. Tourism jobless about 2.5 million, and manufacturing industry about 1.5 million, and other jobless like shopping center, spa, health spa, for the all other kind of business in Thailand, probably around 4.4 million. So it is a total of 8.4 million jobless. However, this is the forecast at this point. Now we will have to wait until to see that how well can we develop toward the fourth quarter of this year. If we can kind of jeopardize the COVID and then boost up the business, then I think this number will be less. And the University of Thai Chamber of Commerce predicted that if we pick up the business well, this number can be as low as 3 million. So that's a better number for jobless. Well, I would like to make a final conclusion. The next slide, on my last slide, that this is something that we have to live with into the future. Is your business will be lighter. You will employ less people. Your business will use more of a digital structure. You will use more software. You will be utilizing omni-channel or O2O, online to offline, offline to online. If your business is not in that trend, then you should start changing it now, because this is going to be something as a new normal for business for everyone, not only in Thailand, in Russia, and all countries in the world as well. And when you see high labor, although in our automobile we use a lot of robotic, I think the AI will come in and replace the labor market. So I'm very sorry to see that either 3 million or 8.4 million jobless in Thailand. I think they're gonna find difficult time to find job this year and next year. And perhaps in 2022, when situation is coming back to the level of 2019, probably they can find some job at that point. However, with this video conference that we are doing at the moment, I really like it, because see, many of you now in Russia, many of us now in Thailand, We don't have to fly to Russia. You don't have to fly to Thailand, but we still can talk. We still can do business. And I think that's a good thing. Like, for example, the Thai Chamber of Commerce has a meeting in Bangkok, and the provincial Chamber of Commerce, 76 provinces, they don't have to fly to Bangkok. They just stay home in their province, and then just same amount of time of meeting and same quality of meeting, and they don't have to come and stay in a hotel and somebody drive few hours to come to the meeting, and they don't have to do that anymore. We can do it online. We can do it video conference, and this is gonna be a stronger pattern. And when you think about this, I'm thinking about that. Why do you have to hire more people? Why you have to rent an office? When in the future you can do business from your home. And for us, I have been working from home for many months, and partially at this time. And I think for the video conference, it's going to be another new normal coming up, where you don't need your office, you don't need to pay rent, you don't need to pay utilities. And I hope the best for everyone, for Thais and Russian. And I do hope that the two nations will do the business as usual, and we're going to have good relationship between the two countries as usual, or even better after this. And the connection to us can be very quick, and we hopefully in October we can fly to greet each other. But again, business can do online. But if you want to travel for your leisure, coming to Phuket, to Pattaya, to Koh Samui, then you are always welcome. And I look forward to seeing you in Thailand soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sambat, for so detailed overview and analysis. I would like to give a floor to Ms. Nathalie Konse-Subak, Director of BOI Stockholm office, which is in charge of Russia. Ms. Nathalie Kon, I will turn on your microphone. Please switch it on. Yes, you can share your screen now.
Yes. Okay. You see my screen right now, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we can see
Should
it.
I start? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning to all from Russia, and good afternoon to all from Thailand. Today, I'd like to share with you the investment opportunities in agro and food industry in Thailand. Let's start with why Thailand for food industry. In terms of investment, Thailand is offering strategic location with world-class infrastructure and good connectivity in the region. We are at the region in terms of economics, and we also offering effective government support and ease of doing business environment. We are part of world supply chain in many heavy industries, but not only that. Thailand, we are also key player in food industry of the world. In terms of food industry, Thailand has supporting infrastructure and service in the project called Food Innopolis. This is the Global Food Innovation Hub, and this is a one-stop service center that provides complete service on research and development and innovation. If you join the Food Innopolis, you can find plenty of wide range of service that support your business. for agro and food. Trends of sorry, the food industry is highly diversified, and trends of there are many components in food supply chain, starting from agricultural activities to the end of the chain, which are customers. There are in the world right now, they are changing consumer expectation towards the food industries. There are more awareness about health enhancing food. There are awareness about transparency, social consciousness, and this day there are the trends of the food may somehow sometimes depends on or influenced by some companies in the market, some influencer, some are internet influencer, and our trends are affected by the technology. In Thailand, food industry in Thailand is contribute roughly over 20% of the country's GDP, and we are major food exporter. We have supply chain of we have food chain of food industry in Thailand, starts from upstream to midstream and downstream industry. We are not only the exporter, we are also the big market for food. And we have over 9,000 food processing companies in Thailand. And here is the value chain of ideas of value chain of food industry in Thailand. We have all of this component in Thai industry right now, and as I'm from the BOI, I can say that all these activities are almost all of this in detail can ask for via promotion if you are doing these activities in Thailand. From the factor and infrastructure, I think the markets and opportunities in food industry and agro industry is I like to just highlight 4 of this, which is halal food, future food, bio-based products, and digitalized food services. Thailand is a major halal food exporter. We have more than 8,000 factories having halal certificates and export these foods to the world. And national policy is trying to develop food industry in Thailand, moving forward to categorize into 4 types of food, which are functional food, medical food, organic food, and novel food. Healthy food market in Thailand is growing, and functional food take the biggest shares of 60%, and the food market is growing. There are also trends for supplement and functional food in Thailand. These 3 supplements is the growing products, and we can see the bright futures of these 3 products, which are dietary supplements for elderly population, because we are expecting Thailand to have elderly population account for 20% by year 2030. And with the awareness and trends of back to nature among Thai people, so we are the people is looking for supplement that based on herbs or natural extracts. Another thing is tailor-made supplement or personalized nutrition products, which is the supplement that can tailor-made and designed for personal needs. In Thailand, we have abundance of bio-based materials, and we are the countries that have biodiversified. We have many of agricultural products that can transform to end products in bio-based, ranging from biofuel, bioplastic, chemicals, food, and drugs. Another market that is growing, apart from the fact that we are hardly affected by the COVID-19 situation, as Dr. Sombat just told us about the sadness of the effect of the COVID-19. But one business that is growing during this period of time is this digital food service, because people is aware of health security, and they are with support of the technologies available. So people are consume more food delivery service instead of go out to the restaurant. So this is the growing business in Thailand. And from the growing market that I just mentioned, I can summarize that sector of opportunity in terms of investment, that activity that eligible for BOI investment promotion if you are going to invest in this activity production. I think the opportunity is available for food processing, functional food, medical food, and food supplement. And there are promotion for active pharmaceutical ingredients. Bio-based products is relevant to the world trends of green economy, green circular economy. So any bio-based product is go together with the trends of the world. So this is a potential business that is sure will be growing. The last one is the digital service, digital platform, software, and mobile application is the growing business that's especially because of the COVID-19. And as Dr. Sombat just mentioned, that the digital technology help us can work during this period of time together from Thailand to Russia. And as I am from Sweden, then we can in the same conference together. So this is a growing business that is an opportunity for investor if you consider Thailand as your next destination for investment. This is some activities that I would like to mention that is the opportunity for you, and you can get their promotion. So for investment incentive, the BOI is government agency under the Office of the Prime Minister. We are provide information and support to investor, and we also provide incentives in order to encourage investment in our country. BOI investment incentives consist of two types of incentives, which are tax incentives and non-tax incentives. For tax incentives, it depends on what activity the projects are operating in Thailand. They can get a vary of the tax exemption and deduction. It depends on the activities. And for non-tax incentives, the projects can will get the allowance to own 100% ownership of the company, and the foreigner can own land for their promoted projects, and the foreign experts that coming into the countries to work in the promoted projects can enjoy one-stop service for visa and work permits, which promise to issue visa and work permit within 3 hours after all required documents are submitted to the system. In order to grant incentives to each project, we have several approaches. The first and standard incentives approach is the activity-based. We grant incentives based on what they are doing, what they are going to do in the projects, and what is the level of technology they are going to use in the production. The second approach scheme is technology-based. We grant highest incentives to projects that use one of these four technologies, which are biotechnology, digital, nano, and advanced material technology. The third approach is merit-based incentives that we grant. For merit-based incentive, we grant additional incentives for projects that already gets promotion, but they are doing some more activity from our list, one of those required activity, and then they can get additional incentives from us. And the last one is the area-based approach. So it's clearly that the project can get additional privilege when they're located in some certain area. This is a sample of incentive that we are granting. Actually, right now we have in the BOI list of eligible activities for promotion. We have around 200 activity in our list. This is just a sample. So this is just a sample, and for more detail, I'd like to encourage you to visit our website, or maybe if you have something in mind that you're interested to explore opportunity in Thailand, you can just contact us at the Stockholm office or BOI head office. There are opportunities for bioenergy, biofuels, bioplastics, biotechnology and R&D, biopharma. Last but not least, we the BOI we have a OSOS center with short from One Stop Investment Center. At this center, we have one-stop service for visa and work permit. We have team that take caring ready to support both newcomer investor who just maybe first time come into Thailand and need support. The team will help arrange meeting, link to related agency that related to their business plan, and also arrange an appointment. And for those existing investors, also can visit this center in order to ask for some support or follow up something with the BOI. So this is this one-stop service that located in the center of Bangkok Business District. That's the brief and the end of my presentation. So I think all of you will get the ideas of the opportunities in agro and food industry in Thailand. Agro and food industry in Thailand is not only about agriculture and food, but there are a lot of related industries in the supply chain, including machineries, automation, digitals, and many services. So even we are affected by the COVID-19, but I think we'll be back on track once the situation is getting better. The infrastructure, the fact of the economy, the trends of the economy, the world economies, it will lead us to the same expected trend, which are just, as I just mentioned, food is always the necessary. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Ms. Natarikon. Well, we are now starting a very interesting section. It is case studies. So let me, hold on. The speakers will share their experience on how to establish business, which step they should take, well, you should take, and how to do business in Thailand. I would like to give a first floor to Mr. Alexei Tutin, Managing Director of Thai Sturgeon. Alexei, I will ask you to turn your microphone now. Yeah, can you please turn it on? Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, Moscow, and good afternoon, Thailand. And it's very exciting to be part of that the conference. So thank you very much for inviting me. So I would say firstly that I agree with Dr. Sambat and many things. That I mean, actually, we have a farm in Thailand breeding sturgeons, and the fish is almost ready for caviar. So we started sales of meat last year and start supplying many restaurants around Bangkok and some touristic areas as well. So during this lockdown, of course, the sales of meat went down. And what we experienced and what I was to say about my agreement with Dr. Sambat was that lots of our businesses, I mean now as well, yeah, so turn to internet sales. So since restaurants and hotels are our main consumers for caviar and sturgeon meat, and they were closed, so lots of people turned to the internet companies supplying the same things. So, and we experienced a gap in April, but in May and June we were selling very well. So actually, I mean, there's another advantage that we're still delivering caviar from abroad, but not everyone can do it at the moment. And many companies, our competitors who bring in caviar in small quantities now cannot. So we we gained lots of new customers during this time. So, but focusing on the situation, my personal opinion, so we also decided to develop more on internet sales. And that's a good thing that literally there's less expenses on offices, on many things, and just you have direct contact with the customers, and you are getting rid of some kind of middleman who try and use sales. That's the first thing. And the second thing about BOI. So we got a BOI promotion in 2016. And I would like to thank all the team of Board of Investments, because we have got a part of getting this the granted certificate and everything. So we literally experienced very warm and very easy way of getting visas and work permits. So we have experts coming from Russia, we have experts working here, me, myself, so we're spending much less time, and then now it's very convenient to use one-stop center in Chamchuri Square, and as it was said, less than 3 hours actually. Now it's everything prepared to send documents in maybe 30-40 minutes it goes. So it's very convenient, and thank you so much for the help. I would like to thank Dr. Sambat and Thai Russian Chamber of Commerce, our trade representative office, Mr. Oleg Masternikov, and everyone who supported us from the very beginning and helped us with guidance during, because the project itself is quite unusual to have a sturgeon farm in Thailand, but my personal experience and my personal opinion about Russian doing business in Thailand, I'm very happy to be here, and I've got lots of support from my friends, from Thai officials, from authorities. So we always find a good way of getting, lawfully results. So that's, in my point of view, I can share my experience on doing business here if anyone needs more information. So I'm happy to tell more stories. But also I would like to welcome the BOI team and the Russian trade representative and also TICC to visit the farm. So we are very close to the final production, and I think it will be interesting to see the project which grew from zero and to the final stage when we already have fish with caviar. But I mean, due to the COVID situation, we cannot bring the specialist right now. So we're waiting for the time when the airport will be open, so we can bring the specialists who will teach our staff how to make the production and processing. So that's, I mean, if anyone has questions, and I mean, I'm happy to answer. But I mean, by now, so I'm very happy to do business here, and all my experience with Thailand is positive. And thank you so much, everyone. Who, maybe I forgot someone, but I mean, I really experienced good feedback and always support from authorities. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alexei. Well, I should say that for the first time when I heard about your project, it was in November 2016 during the conference that was arranged by Moscow government during the Moscow days in Bangkok. Yeah. And it was really interesting for me to learn about your project because it was some kind of a new word for me, for sturgeon in Thailand. Really unusual region, I should say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. So once again, I mean, thank you for inviting me. And if you have an opportunity, I think that sooner or later the borders will be open again. Please be welcome to the farm to see the real thing. So just words, and all the teams who, I mean, all the authorities are also welcoming to see the farm, to see what we actually, we've done.
Okay. I guess it's a great idea, and with the first opportunity, we will be glad to visit you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I'd like to give a floor to the person who has more than 10 years of business experience in Thailand, Vitaly Kiselov, president of Science Fertilizer Company. Vitaly, can you please switch on your microphone?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, so good morning to all who joined us from Moscow, from Russia, and good afternoon to our friends and colleagues here in Bangkok. So I will give you a brief overview of what our company is doing and how we got to where we are today, meaning all the process of investing, of obtaining different licenses, and maybe share with you some of our experience in marketing here in Thailand as well. So first of all, our project is a fertilizer factory. It's a factory that produces mineral slow-release fertilizer. Just a few words about our product. As you may know, regular chemical fertilizer is, well, not very well received nowadays by governments and things because they pollute the environment, they create problems for our food, they create problems for our soil, groundwater, and etc. Because the main idea is that the nutrients contained in those fertilizers are released so fast within a week or two so that the plants, they don't have a chance to consume them. That is why, though the plant will receive maybe 20, maximum 30% of the nutrients in the fertilizer, and the rest will be leached to the ground and will pollute the groundwaters and will make the soil very unfertile and all of these things. So our answer was to create, using Russian technology, using Russian know-how, a mineral fertilizer that is not so bad for environment, actually a slow release fertilizer. What it does is that by the slow release effect, by slowly releasing the nutrients, it allows the plants to use up basically practically all of them. And nothing is left to be leached to the soil, to pollute the water and environment, and so on and so forth. So it's basically like a middle ground. It has all the benefits of chemical fertilizer. It is good for the plants. It makes the plants grow fast, but at the same time, it has less impact on the environment. So this was initially our idea and our goal, to create a product that is environmentally friendly, and it can be used for what is now fashionably called the sustainable agriculture. Well, basically we are an SME. It's a small factory with a production capacity of only about 20 tons of fertilizer per day, which is quite low compared to our main competitors. But this is quite enough, because this is a niche market, a niche product for basically, because in Thailand still most of the farmers, they prefer to use the regular chemical fertilizer, since they're used to it, and it makes their plants grow fast, and they get a lot of profit. So going back to the when our company was established in 2010, well, actually, you mentioned that my 10 years experience, my experience in business in Thailand is more than 25 years. So the fertilizer project, it was a new project, and actually continuation of our business efforts here in Thailand. And by the middle of 2011, we already started production. That means that during this 1.5 years, we were able to finish the construction of the factory, and also get all the required licenses and registrations from official organizations. I would like to say a few words about this process of licensing and registration here in Thailand, because like Alexei said, I also experienced a very positive experience in this process with interacting with different Thai agencies. Now we started, of course, with the design registration. Then we got the permit for factory permit. And then after the construction was complete and the equipment was installed, we went to the Department of Agriculture to get our license production fertilizer for sale license. And after that, that was the registration of all the types of fertilizers, all the formulas that we make. And all in all this, I would say this registration process took us maybe around 6 months, which is, I would say, quite fast. Of course, like I said, we are an SME, and maybe for bigger companies, it would take longer and more expensive. Actually, by the way, our expenses were quite minimum for all those licenses. They were in the areas of hundreds of dollars, not thousands. So we were quite happy about that. And especially, I was really impressed by the reception and by the way the Department of Agriculture works, because I really received a very good support from them. For every license, for every registration that you have to make, you have to prepare. Maybe sometimes you think it's a very long list of documents, and when we prepare and present to the department, they would analyze it and then just tell us in a friendly manner that, okay, this you have to correct, this you have to do again, and things like that. So, and everything was quite straightforward and clear. And once all the documents were prepared, we got all the licenses necessary, and we could start production and selling our product. Now, I would like to also mention that it's important, the important role of your Thai partner for the investment. Yes, well, my partner was mostly doing the factory registration, and it was, well, quite fast, because you understand that in Thailand, if you don't know Thai language, I mean, it would be very difficult for you to do all those things. Of course, you can hire, if you have deep pockets, if you have a lot of investment, you can hire some legal company to do it for you. But basically, it is a good idea to have a reliable Thai partner who can help you, especially at the initial registration part. Of course, as you know, in Thailand, there are certain rules for investment and investment opportunities. As you know, the primary idea is that for most businesses is that the foreign investor can own only 49%, and the 51% should go to the local Thai nationals. But for BOI promoted products, as we heard just a while ago, this is not the case. You can have 100% foreign ownership, even ownership of land. For our company, for our facility, we did not get, we did not ask for BOI promotion, because we are a chemical fertilizer producing factory, whereas BOI will give you promotion for if you produce organic fertilizer. So, but even still, under the current investment laws and regulations in Thailand, fertilizer production is eligible for some special privileges, like 100% foreign ownership, but not foreign ownership of land. This, like I said, for chemical fertilizer, you get maybe a minimum amount of incentives and promotion. Another area that I would like to touch upon is the digitalization, or e-government, here, like they like to call it here in Thailand. Now the processes of registration and getting different licenses is, well, I would say, partly digitized, partly electronic. Partly why? Because, well, this is an ongoing process, and it was started not long ago. Like 10 years ago, when we just started our company, we had to bring all the paper documents to relative authorities and wait while they scrutinize them and so on. But now, okay, this is, we can submit all the documents electronically, and then we will get the reaction of the authorities. But still, in the end, we have to bring the paper copies. Well, I understand this is only a temporary thing, because the system is in process, and sooner or later, and maybe sooner than later, it will become 100% electronic, which will be, of course, even better than it is today, more transparent, more straightforward, and more fast, of course. So all in all, I would say that I would just echo the words of Alexei, that I think, in my personal experience, Thailand has quite favorable conditions for foreign investment. And probably because also our facility and our production is not so large, so the problems that we encountered probably not so huge. And but having said that, I have to point out actually one problem. I think it's most of my colleagues, and I think Thai people will agree, that for not only for foreign investment, but generally for Thai economy, one of the main problems today is getting qualified personnel. This is, well, really a big problem, and we in the Chamber of Commerce and generally the foreign business community in Thailand are raising this with the Thai authorities, and they're trying to upgrade and reform the education system. But up today, still the problem exists. And, you know, it was mentioned before that, okay, you can bring in foreign specialists, but according to current regulations, okay, you have to have 4 Thai workers, 4 Thai personnel, to get one foreign specialist to work in your company. But this is again a general rule, and it's quite obvious because the Thai government needs to support its own employment in the country by foreign investment. So it's nothing special, nothing new, but still it has to be taken into account. And of course, if your investment is BOI promoted, then you can get special privileges in this area as well. Yeah. Now, I would like to touch on another important area of investment or of doing business in Thailand. I would like to give you my vision of the current state of the Thai agricultural market. The agricultural market that I work in, I mean, the products for agriculture, products for raising either for animal husbandry or for planting and things like that. So I would point out maybe three main things, characteristics, so to say, of this agricultural market in Thailand. First of all, what I have noticed is that still most of the Thai farmers are still quite conservative. They like to prefer to do things the old way, like their fathers taught them, and they are not very susceptible to innovation, to new forms. That is also, of course, a big problem. We don't talk about modern farms, they're of course high-tech and they use all the latest technology achievements, like drones and stuff, but still most of the farmers in Thailand prefer to do it the old way. So this is one thing that you should be aware about. The second thing is that basically, when you come into a big shop in the provinces which sells different kinds of products for agriculture, you will be just amazed with the amount of different products that they have: fertilizers, soil conditioners, hormones, different stimulants for plant growth, and you will be just appalled by the vision of all those colorful labels and all those promises that this product will help you grow your crop within a week or so and things like that. But unfortunately, the vast majority of these products are still of very, very low quality. And that makes it, of course, very difficult. And these products here obviously they're not expensive and very cheap. And so it's very difficult, I expect, very difficult for the Thai farmer to make the right choice, to choose the right product. So it's kind of a very great competition on the Thai market as regards to these products for agriculture. And so from here, you can understand that the price actually of products is the main thing that the farmers will look at. Quality goes second, usually. So it's another sort of a difficulty for working in this market. And having said that, we should understand, this is the third point that I wanted to make, the current state of the agricultural market in Thailand is a quite depressed situation. And it has been for the last maybe 2-3 years. Since most, the world prices for most of the Thai agricultural products like rubber, sugar, rice, tapioca, etc., they are down now. And so that means that Thai farmers don't get enough profits, and they don't really have money to buy fertilizer. Even for today, the rubber market, it's very hard to sell any fertilizer because farmers say that, no, they just leave it, let the plant grow as it is without any fertilizer because they don't have the money for it. And there are, of course, different programs, government programs that help the farmers in this respect. But I would say that it is only for the very, very big players that can get into these programs, can get their products into these programs. So this is also, a peculiarity of the current situation on the Thai agricultural market. But I guess that this is a really temporary thing, because you know the fluctuation of the world market and the commodities market it goes down and then up again. So my hope is that everything will go back to normal, and will be, so basically, like I said in the beginning, I believe that Thailand is a very good place to invest, including into the agricultural market. And one last thing before I finish, since everyone talks about COVID-19, I would like to share my point of view on the situation. Yes, it affected, we have seen the figures presented by Dr. Sambat, it affected Thai economy a great deal. But he did mention that the agricultural food business was less affected, and that is quite true. And I feel it in my personal opinion, in my personal business, that, well, the reason is simple. People need to eat. They don't need maybe that much jewelry when they are hard hit by a crisis, but they need to eat every day. So that is why the agricultural market, the food market, is still good, because, well, like it was mentioned by the representative of BOI, that, okay, since people cannot go to restaurants, okay, there are delivery services. And so this kind of eating life goes on. And so that is, I think, a very good aspect, and a good, well, let's say, drawing point that can draw foreign investors, Russian investors, to Thailand in the agriculture and food sector, because it is really less susceptible to different, crises situations. And of course, one other thing I have noticed, that today, since there are a lot of people who lost their jobs from the service sector and other sectors, actually many of them are turning now back to agriculture. They're going back to their provinces, their villages, and starting to do something in agriculture, because in order to earn a living somehow. And this is, again, a bonus, a benefit for the agricultural sector. So that is about all that I wanted to share with you today. If anyone has any questions, please, happy to answer. And anyway, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me and giving me a chance to speak today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kisilov. It was really exciting to learn so much information from you, especially about the market of Thailand and the process of registration your business. I would like to give the next floor to Ms. Olga Kulikova, CEO of Good Food Export and Import Company. Olga, I will switch on your microphone now. Can you please turn it on?
I did it already.
Yes, Olga.
Okay, so I would like to say good afternoon for everybody who is in Moscow, and in Bangkok, and good morning who is in Moscow. So our company produce semi-finished frozen food, like Russian dumplings with different fillings and dairy. And we are in Thailand now, and based in Phuket. So our company is 100% of foreign shareholders, but we still not go to BOI, but we are going to. Okay, so I would like to say some words about our company, what we are. Our production capacity for now is more than 100 horsepower, and we can produce about 300 kilo of frozen food per 1 hour. It means for frozen food, it means for dumplings, and as to dairy, it's about 1 ton of dairy per 1 working day. So if we compare with Russian companies, of course we are very small, but for here for now it's more than enough. Okay, so the main our customer is modern trade, and we work with Metro, Big C, Villa Market, and also are going to spread our sales into other stores. And I would like to say some words how we start. It was like an idea about 6 years ago. We start our business here, and step by step, from the small quantity, just to. It was like idea to create the product that will be the customer can get easy, and will be for not only for Russian speakers customers, also to our dairies for some Europe people who come here and they know this product, as well as for nowadays it's also grow culture for eat dairy in Thai also, because it's healthy food and a lot of people know more about that product also. I would like to say that it was maybe a big challenge for us to start modern trade like Macro. It was 4 years ago, and on that step, why I say it's like a challenge, because a lot of that you start you don't know, and of course we have to use outsource companies as well as in Russia to set up the technology for the production. I mean correct way, and as the same in Thailand. So to set up the GMP certification, it's good manufacturing certification. That allow you to enter the big modern trade as Macro, as Tesco, 7-Eleven, for example. So after that, maybe I will not say too much words about how to get this license, because it's a process, you know. But I can answer it by questions later. So, and about difficulties that we had, maybe will be interesting also, because as Vitaly said already, the main problem is the qualified personnel, staff that can help you, because sometimes you understand everything, but it's like have some difficulties from outside. And another I would like to say another difficult was that we were growing. We're still growing for these years, because we spread to the Thailand, not only in Phuket. We are in many points now. So the main maybe, can I say like this? It means current assets. So when you are growing, you need to make more, so and so on. I mean that one. Another difficulty is inside the company, as I said already, about the personnel. So for now, I can say that for plans, we have 2 plans to produce the new products, to offer the new products for customers, and to spread to another modern trades. And for now, we have 30 point of sale. I mean, in Thailand already. So it means Metro, Big C, Villa Market, but we are also on our way to 7-Eleven and Family Mart. So this is not a long story, but that in short words, yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, anyway, it was very interesting to hear it from the very beginning of how it goes, of how widespread now your company is. I wish you more spreading, more points where you can sell. So all the success to you. So dear participants, we are now have 10 minutes for Q&A session. If you would like to ask a question, there is an option to raise a hand. You can find it if you press participants, and on the right bottom you will see a raise hand. It will be indicated as a blue hand sign next to your name. So if you want, you can send your questions also to our email. I will deliver these questions to our speakers. Wait for their answers, and then we will provide you all the answers. Of course, we will gather all the answers from our speakers, and well, all the answers will be sent to your email addresses. Also, I can tell you that the recording of the conference will be uploaded to Google Drive, and the link will be sent to you. And if somebody has a question, please raise your hand now. I will switch on all the microphones. I will ask everybody. So everybody can switch on the microphone. So no questions, or
It's clear.
don't be shy. You can ask our speakers the questions about how to do business, or ask for their advice.
Good day, everyone. Everyone hear me?
Yes, Vitaly, we can hear you.
Yes, my name is Vitaly. I'm owner of Siam OSOS company. We're located in Phuket. As all of us understand, the situation is interesting, and all of businesses try to go for e-commerce platform. We have connection with Russian e-commerce platform already, but the point is right now Thailand start to make a lot of platform, like agricultural platform, like food platform, like fashion platform, and also Department of International DIPT, International
Trade promotion.
Trade Promotion, yeah, department. They start to make e-commerce for international. But the problem is when we try to make a connection with that platform, government department, they cannot talking in English, and exactly when you calling and ask, you send email, they just confirm, oh, we don't know, somebody called to us. It's problem number one. When you try to connection with government department, they not accept. It's very big problem. They cannot connection. They cannot to find any connection with foreigner because they scare, or I don't know. When we try to talking with Thai staff, with our company, Thai staff sharing for calling or for do some businesses. For example, I know the Department of International Trade, they start to promotion for delivery between of the country. They make promotion discount from delivery 40%. If you send some purses to other country, you get 40% discount from this parcel. But how to make connection between of the private sector and the government sector is very big problem. It's very big problem. we have a lot of idea. We have experience with e-commerce platform like tourism platform. I think the biggest of for Russian market it's avia sales company, and I think BOI they know about this company. We have experience. We have an idea for make many platform like e-commerce and make connection between of the Russian e-commerce and Thai e-commerce. But the problem is uh, it's languages. Sometimes people who stay in Bangkok, they don't know how to make connections. It's very big problem. And I don't know who can help with this problem. Education need to change. And I don't know, for example, the SME company, they have many projects, but sometimes company cannot move until government support, some government department. For example, last week we sent an email to Thai tourism consul, and 25 minutes I spent for find somebody who can check email. Is it email go to the spam or somewhere? The problem is need to some department who take care about private sector and make connection between of the private sector and government. That's the point. I mean, need more faster connection between of the government department and the private sector, like SME.
Thank you very much, Vitaly. Well, I guess the communication problem is quite usual for many countries because it's not always so easy to find the connection between the private business and the government. Of course, there are special, from my personal point of view, there are special persons in each government agency who are responsible for communication, like press service, like this. But anyway, if any company or either it is a government agency, they're putting their contact details on the website or providing them, I guess the persons who are answering the phones, well, they should more or less be capable of speaking English, communicating. But as you mentioned, the problem of education, Vitaly Kiselov already mentioned that it is always easier in Thailand to have, let's say, to know the language, or maybe have a reliable partner from Thai side. So in this case, I believe that if you have some type of partner, reliable partner, he can assist you on this issue. He can, well, because it is always easier for the native person to communicate with another native person. So maybe it is easier for them to find a common language. Of course, there is an issue of this communication problem, but maybe if you try to find some reliable partner that can just be of charge of this issue, maybe it can ease somehow. I believe that for government itself, from my point of view, the government should be interested, of course, for small and medium enterprises, because for Thailand, I believe SME, they create a huge part of the GDP. But still, the government agency, it is a government structure, it is quite difficult for them to change. So in this case, I really believe that the easiest way for you will be find a local partner who can take care of these issues on your side.
Okay.
Well, but
okay.
Anyway, nobody, let's say, if you are just approaching the problem from few sides, if you are calling yourself, if you are writing messages, if you ask your partner to take care of you of this issue, well, I believe if you really come from different parts, from different sides to the issue, it will be easier for you to reach your final result.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the participants?
May I have a word, please?
Yes, Igor.
Hi everyone. Just wanted to say that our ministry is now exploring different opportunities on.
Igor, pardon, may I interrupt you? First of all, I guess you should say that you represent the Ministry of Economic Development.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And we also represent the Secretariat of the Russian side of the Intergovernmental Commission, Russian side. And we had a question, so just came out of the blue. From the presentation of Connatarikon, BOI, we saw the slide indicating the growing market of halal products. And so keeping in mind that Thailand has a huge halal market next to it, I mean, Malaysia and Indonesia and Brunei. So the question would be to address to BOI, is there any sort of unified certification system for halal products, say Russian company specializing in production and supplying halal production products would be interested to come into the ASEAN market? Would it be efficient for them to use the Thailand as a gateway? And is Thailand is capable of re-exporting the products, halal products, to other neighboring countries? Halal products. Is it clear? No?
Okay, for the standards, is that the 2 points, right? One is about the standards, and another one is about whether the investment in case coming to Thailand and do some processes, and whether the company can re-export to other countries as a halal products, right? Is that your question?
That's right.
Yes, for certification and standards, we are the BOI. We didn't in charge of, didn't have authorities about this, but I'm not sure about this. We need to check with the authorities, but I think there are international standards about the halal food, and maybe Ministry of Commerce also can say some share information about this later. And for re-export, it depends if the company would like to re-export export the halal food from Thailand to other countries and would like to enjoy the benefits from country of origin of products in order to exempt some tax. I'm not sure. It depends on the production, whether it's the production percentage of that product happens in Thailand, reach a certain amount of percentage of production in-house in the countries, then yes, the product can export from Thailand as a Thai product. That's general the idea that I can say right now.
May I help Kun Ge explaining about the halal a little bit?
Yes, please.
In order to obtain the registration certified, you need to go through the Central Islamic Committee of Thailand located in Bangkok. And if your manufacturing is in any province in Thailand, you have to contact the Provincial Islamic Committee, which is a part of the Central Islamic Committee in Thailand, in Bangkok. in order to get all the inspection. They have a lot of criteria that you have to meet, many of them. For example, for chicken slaughter, you have to slaughter chicken by Muslim people, not Thai, only Muslim people. And then you have to go through the process of slaughter, immediately die without suffering, something like that. And then talking about export, if you want to export halal product, it still depends on the destination country. For example, if no strict law like Malaysia, we can export chicken to Malaysia. But for UAE, Dubai, usually we deliver chicken from halal chicken from Thailand to Dubai, and then as a springboard that deliver to other Middle East countries. But a few years ago, UAE came up with the new rule of halal food for them that will require that a chicken must not be stunned by electricity. Okay, chicken before you slaughter must be stunned by electricity so that the chicken will die quietly, without suffering, without pain. And that's the law of EU that will require the electric stunning. But UAE came up with this new rule that must not have stunning. And as a result, we usually deliver chicken through Dubai to many other Middle East countries, but now we cannot. So it depends on the destination country. We try to work with Dubai, but they still don't change the rule yet. So this is a problem. Okay, so I answer Mr. Eager 2 questions. Number 1 is the Central Islamic Committee and the Provincial Islamic Committee, who has the authority to give the registration or certificate. Number 2 is you have to, based on the destination country, for the regulations, that you have to pass all those regulations before you can export the halal food to those countries. I hope this is helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sambat. Well, I guess it is always an important issue of following the certification rules of the country where you are exporting your products. So you can never do anything if there are, let's say, more strict rules. It is one of the issues, I believe, in agriculture sector of Russia and Thailand, that we have different, let's say, certification procedures. We have different demands for the products. So it always happens if you are selling from one country to another. Dear participants, any questions, comments?
Hello. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Nikolai. I work in the trade representation of Russia in Thailand. I think many of you already know me. I have a question to, well, it's not really a question. I would like to comment on Olga Kulikova's speech a bit. I think that her project is very inspiring, and I've been looking forward for a long time to see her, to meet her, and to talk about her business model here in Thailand. I think that she has achieved some success already. I must say that I've been looking for her products in the supermarkets in Bangkok for a long time. And I did my own little research on where you can find this frozen pilmeni and dumplings, yes, dumplings, vareniki. I think this is a very important experience for Russian producers, because she managed to enter supermarkets in Bangkok, and her products are sold here. And I must say that they were quite popular during the outbreak of the virus here in Thailand, where when people stocked on different long-term products that they could put in the fridge, when I went to the supermarket, I could see that her dumplings were out of stock just in a couple of days. So I propose that we maybe exchange some contact information and continue dialogue offline, because I think our trade representation would like to learn more from your experience, and maybe we can somehow help you in the future too. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikolai. Well, if Olga allows, I will provide her contacts to you. Olga, you can switch your microphone if you would like. Yeah.
Sure. What should I do?
Just give your approval.
Yeah. I give my approval. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, dear participants, any more questions? All right, we have already extended our initial agenda.
Well,
Yes, Dr. Samad.
I'd like to reflect the situation that mentioned by a few speakers about Thai people. They don't know much English and sometimes lack of skill, and also the agricultural market shrink in Thailand. I think the first two things, the English language, if we switch to Russia, and a Thai guy would like to go to Russia to start business, I think we have the same problem. The Russian people, I think even worse than Thai, and for the bureaucracy, for the governmental regulations and rules, I think much tougher than Thailand. So if we look at the other side, I think Thai people go to Russia to starting a new business. I think it's let's say about the same difficult or even worse than Thailand. So that's at least my feeling. That's why Thailand and Russia still have a very small number of people of business going on to each other. And I think we need to help each other to correct these problems. And I don't know, for Thailand, we have Mr. Oleg and his colleague from trade representation, which perhaps can help solving this problem for the new starter from Russia. But for us, for Thai people go to Russia, we definitely will go to the His Excellency Thanatip, the ambassador, the Thai ambassador in Moscow, in order to get acquainted with the Russian system. And as a conclusion, I think we need to try our best to ease the new starter of business for both countries. That's my reflection.
Thank you, Dr. Sambat. Well, regarding let's say, the improvement of communication line and the education, as you mentioned, I know that in Chula University, there is a faculty of Russian language, because we visited, I guess, in 2018 or 2017 during the business delegation from Russia. We visited Chula. But I cannot say that there is any, let's say, dedicated faculty in any Russian university. Colleagues, if you know, please correct me. But of course, there is University of ASEAN countries in Moscow State University of Moscow University of International Relations. But still, the amount of students from Thailand, from the whole Russia, as far as I remember, there is a kind of limit. For the year of 2020, it was something around 200 students from Thailand that received a grant from Russian government. So their education will be for free. But according to the, let's say, to the closed borders, of course, the students cannot arrive. Well, I hope when the borders will be open, they will still come. But of course, we have, let's say, some space to move in this area. We can accept more students, I believe, because I know that, well, not know, but I believe that when students come, they learn the language of the country where they're staying in, so it can be easy for the Thai people, the young generation, if they're coming to Russia, they are learning the Russian language, and when they come back to Thailand, it will be easier. Maybe it will be some kind of intermediate between the Russian side and Thai side. They can work for the companies. They are working, let's say, with the Russian partners. So for the education line, yeah, we have some line for improvement. Thank you, Dr. Sambat.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
dear participants, I would say that, for example, if somebody of you will just think that they had some question but forgot to ask, or if you can think of some new questions, please do not hesitate to send them to us. We will provide it to all our speakers. And I would like to thank all of our guests and speakers for today. I'm very excited about our conference, and quite large amount for participants, especially as we are dedicated to the agri-food sector. I wish all of you good health and success in your business, and I hope to see you soon, face to face, when the borders will be opened and resumed flights will start flying from Russia to Thailand and back. Thank you, everybody, and stay safe. Thank you.